This podcast is brought to you by Wise, the app for international people using money around the globe. With Wise, you can send, spend, and receive up to 40 currencies and save up to 55% compared to major banks. Plus, Wise won't add hidden fees to your transfer. So whether you're buying souvenirs with pesos in Puerto Vallarta or spending euros to tip your Colosseum tour guide, you know you're getting a fair exchange rate with no extra markups. Join the 15 million customers who choose Wise. Download the Wise app today or visit wise.com/US/compare to learn more. T's and C's apply. Hey y'all, it's Nikki. The Downtown Austin Alliance is holding a new event that I have to tell y'all about. It's called Vibe Downtown, and it's a 2-day experience where you can discover new and old Austin stories through music, art, and culture in historic downtown spaces. Some of Austin's best creatives will be involved, and what's awesome is that Vibe funds $30,000 in commissions for those elected to participate in the event. So check out vibedowntown.org for details and get ready to experience the vibe on September 19th and 20th on Old 6th Street. Austin is known for its tacos, but do we know the stories behind them? Today on CityCast Austin, I'm chatting with taco journalist Mando Rayo about our taco culture, how we're unique, and his favorite spots around town. It's Thursday, September 11th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, I am here with Mando Rayo, taco journalist, host of Tacos of Texas podcast, producer and host of the United Tacos of America TV show, and author of Austin Breakfast Tacos and the Taco of Texas. What is up, Mando?
Hey, Nikki. Great to be here. I think you checked all the boxes.
You are a busy man.
Yeah, I'm very star pattern. So I'm like, choom, choom, choom,
yeah.
choom.
Oh, my
you know
God.
what I mean?
love that. Yeah. So, okay. Now, I want to ask you something that I think is hilarious. So, evidently, some people believe that there is a San Antonio versus Austin taco war. Now, I find that funny.
False.
Yeah, okay. This is what I want. This is what I'm talking about.
Let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way.
This is what I'm talking about. Yes.
No. Yeah, first of all, there is no war. People just talk about it and they bring it up every 2 years. I actually told your producer about this. And I'm like, nah, dude, it's like 15. That story is 15 years old. Stop bringing it up.
Seriously.
And also, I'm originally from El Paso. So, you know, I feel like even though I lived in Austin forever, I feel like I'm also neutral. But I do love me San Antonio. And San Antonio has 100 years on us. So definitely,
I mean, come on.
Austin is more of a young town, you know.
Yeah.
So definitely, if there was a war,
we'd be losing.
Which technically, I know the early beginnings of that. It was a writer from New York that came here and said Austin is the best tacos. Yeah, it's crazy. It was
so somebody don't even live here.
Yeah, it was stupid. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, media picked it up and it kind of goes back and forth. And they always bring it back up. But now I feel like it's more on the San Antonio side that they actually bring it up more. And so I'm like, I'm just like, ya se acabó. Let's go. Let's move on. You know, like, Jesus.
It's so funny because every time somebody starts that sentence, I'm like, nope, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
Yeah.
So you are the taco expert, right? So I want to hear your favorite tacos in the Austin area.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I don't consider myself an expert at all. You know, and so let's just put that out of the context.
So wait, really quick though, let's get into that. Is that because you're always learning about it?
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
100%. So, you know, at the core, I'm a taco journalist, and that's my title. And, you know, I use tacos to learn about people's, not only the food and the recipes, it's a gateway into understanding people and the community communities and the issues that come along with it, right? So like
culture,
this idea, it's culture, right? And so for me, you know, people always ask me about, you know, reviews, but I don't actually review. I don't do any taco reviews. What I do is hone in on a story.
Mondo, I love that.
So, you know, the idea around taco journalism is to uncover these untold stories, right? And, you know, yes, while the chefs may get all the limelight, or maybe a restaurant owner, they might get all the fame and the fortune, but we know behind the kitchen who is actually doing the work. Right? It's a lot of immigrants. It's a lot of just restaurant workers and people that have like created their recipes, whether they introduce them to a restaurant or maybe it's the story of a journey. Like, what is the migration pattern to like, how am I changing this recipe? Or maybe I'm like second, third generation Chicano that I'm trying something new to honor my family's roots. So what is that story? So for me, it's all about the story and less about like the review. So
I love this. So, okay.
But I do have my favorites. But I
want to know your favorites. Okay, what's your favorite breakfast taco in Austin?
Okay, so, you know, I always kind of go back and forth between two because I love kind of this idea around like a breakfast taco that takes you back home and just kind of like, it's like this feeling of just warmth, you know, like a fresh flour tortilla, those kind of things, or waking up and you hear this in the morning. Yes. And so for me, like definitely like in Austin, it has to be Joe's Bakery for sure, because when you go there, you're transported to a certain time and a place. And so whether it's Little Joe or Selena in the background music to you know, to all the waiters and waitresses that have been working there for generations, you know, just like that little, like those little things, the pan dulce, the salsa verde. But for me, it's all about the tortillas. They do their fresh tortillas and it's, you know, the thicker flour tortilla.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And bean, egg, and bacon. And that is my go-to. It's so good. And so for me, like, and, you know, they've been around obviously like forever. Like forever, I mean 1958, roughly.
Yeah. A long time.
Yeah, a long time. And so if you want kind of that idea around, you know, looking back into the history, understanding communities and culture, that's where you're going to get it. You're not going to get it at, you know, a robot kitchen.
Oh my God, I love Joe's Bakery. My parents, like, it was like their thing. My dad passed away in 2020. Up until he passed away, that was their Saturday morning thing. That's what they did.
Yeah, because you're OG Austinite, right?
Yeah, and you could not tell my parents that there was a better breakfast taco anywhere in the city. They were not trying to hear it. They're not interested. Joe's is an institution.
Yeah, for sure. And then on the flip side of that, since they were waitresses and they started this small, tiny trailer, like it was like really more of a fruit stand, is Veracruz All Natural.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and so for me, like their breakfast tacos are bomb. The migas is kind of what put them on the map. And obviously now they have many locations, but, you know, to understand kind of their story around, you know, how they built their business, you know, not really, you know, speaking the language either, but they had the business sense and the flavors that they all mixed together. It's two sisters and then their mom.
I love seeing Veracruz thrive. What is the most underrated taco in Austin, you think?
You know, I don't know if it's underrated, but it's called Los Pepes, and it's on Loyola Lane.
Oh,
you know, for all you hipsters, you have to go outside of the Eastern Bubble Crescent.
that's out by my sister house. Yeah,
that's Northeast.
Yeah, and that's good. I love it.
They have been there for a long time, and you know, they just, you know,
are they at that gas station right after the train track?
It's in the strip mall, like the catty corner kind of from the gas station. It's in that little strip mall. Yeah, Los Pepes. And get this. They have these tacos dorados that are great. I'm a big diehard for tacos dorados. Basically, they're like crispy tacos sometimes filled with just mashed potatoes, and sometimes it's picadillo. So I'm a big fan of those. But here's the taco tip number 512 is if you want not only free chips and salsa, but chips, salsa, and refried beans, they got you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like one of the only places in Austin that, first of all, nowadays you have to pay for chips and salsa.
Yes. Nobody gives it away for free anymore.
Right? But this place, it's a tiny place and it's obviously family run. But as soon as you sit down, and then they have like 3 or 4 different types of salsas. And man, like it's great. It's a little plate and it's, refried beans, chips, and salsa. Awesome.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It looks delicious. It's on 4700 Loyola, Suite 115 in the Loyola Business Park. Hell
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, get out there and support those little taquerias that, maybe they don't have a PR behind them. They're not on Instagram or anything like that. But
they got the best food. They got the best food, hands down.
And you know what? Who goes there is a lot of just folks that are there for their lunch, their breakfast, their dinners. And it's families, it's blue collar workers, it's, just real people, right? It's not really the place for like phone ready to
It's not Instagram.
No. It's just like, it's such a down home place for sure.
I love that. Now, do you have an overall number one favorite taco in Austin? Like overall?
Man, that's a hard one.
I know. I'm asking you for the impossible. Do you have like 3? What about your top 3?
So I do love me Tacos El Güero, and they do. And they have 2 locations. They have one down south off of Stastny on the east side of 35. Okay. And then the other one is over by the Austin Taco Mile, which is over on Rumberg and Lamar.
Oh,
and they're on Lamar, but just south of Rumberg. And they do it all carnitas, right? Everything. They mix in like the fatty pieces, the panza to the meatier pieces, like say the pork butt or what have you.
Yeah,
man, and they mix it up. So my suggestion is go there, get a mixtos style, because you get kind of the greasiness, but also the tenderness of the pork, of the carnitas, and then the escabeche or chile curtido that can cut. What that does is cut through that fat that allows it to have a good balance. So I go with that for sure, 100%.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah,
that sounds so good. That sounds so good. Oh my God.
So and then right up the streets, Tacos El Charlie. The truck. For me, it's this place. It's kind of like it creates its own environment. So you go there on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, definitely in the evenings. They put the tables out on the parking lot. They have 2 trompos, the Al Pastor, and you get but they have all kinds of tacos. But for me, it's the Al Pastor there, and then they have a little salsa bar that you kind of can put your salsas in baggies, and then they have vendors like, hey, maybe you're there with a family and somebody needs a balloon, or maybe like you need a birthday cake, and so
the party.
The señora there is ready for you to take that order. So oh yeah, it's like like anything you'd expect, like maybe at a flea market, whatever.
Yeah, I love it.
But it's like a pop up, and then they have a 1-man karaoke mic man, and every now and then he gets out there, and it's just him though, but it's not for you to karaoke, it's for him. So he belts it out. All the rancheras and the cumbia hits. Oh yeah. I love that. I love that. For me, like those two, up there are kind of like where Raza goes to, and just kind of, they feel at home. But definitely closer to town, like Austin, one of Austin's favorites is also one of mine is Cuantos Tacos.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They can't do wrong. It's, those street tacos, greasy, but also plentiful. And you don't need 3, you need 6 of them.
But you know what? I love this. I love that you're giving us options that are outside of Central, but because we need to listen, if you're going to support the city and you're going to support, really do it. Get outside of Central Austin, get outside of downtown. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I think a lot of that, I'm going to give a plug to my new season for the Tacos of Texas podcast.
Yeah, please.
So it just recently launched. We're on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcasts. And from the beginning, it's about digging in deep into those stories. And, what is that recipe and how did it get there? Or like, who's afforded to eat a $6 to $8 taco, But this year, we're kind of going deep into like one-on-one interviews, but as well as like those unique stories. It's like word of mouth. Like we heard about middle school kids, 6th graders making their own salsa in the classroom and then selling it at the bus stop after school. So we did a story on there in Del Valley, over at Ojeda Middle School. We went up to the viral sensation El Grandpa's Mexican barbecue, and we stayed with them like 10 hours to fully understand what it takes to actually make lamb barbacoa. And understand their story. So we talked to the father and son team, and then definitely our episodes, depending on the language of their comfort, there will be in English, some will be in Spanish. We don't talk over Spanish speakers because we feel like we need to honor kind of their language and where they're coming from. Yeah, and so definitely that's kind of like our way of doing it.
I know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but still, I struggle to eat first thing in the morning. I'm looking for something fast and filling that will also give me the nutrients that I need. That's where Huel comes in. It's spelled Huel. Now, I tried their Black Edition vanilla flavored powder, and it is a complete meal. It's packed with 40 grams of plant-based protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals. There's no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. Also, for you Austinites that like your daily greens, they just dropped a first-of-its-kind Super Greens drink in a can. It's called the Huel Daily Greens Ready to Drink. No powder, so no mixing or mess, and no peels. Just a sparkling, refreshing drink ready whenever you are. So try Huel with 15% off for new customers today using my code AUSTIN at Huel.com/Austin. Fuel your best performance with Huel today. So you're on your 5th season, and I have to say, the thing that I like about your episodes is that I feel like I'm sitting down with 2 friends listening to them talk about something that I don't know anything about, right? And it's always really nice because you let people tell their story. You don't come on and say, I'm going to tell you a story about this, blah, 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 blah. And that's what I like about your episodes. It's like I'm hearing from people directly about what they're passionate about and their culture and what keeps them like buzzed about tacos and what makes them excited about tacos. And I'm curious about this because you go all over Texas, right? Yeah. And because Austin is so heavily gentrified, where simultaneously we have 2 things. We still have a pretty, substantial Mexican Latinx community. And then we also have like a lot of chefs that are here that are like, I am coming in and I am doing the taco. Here's my take on the taco. It's like, you can go and you can pay $8 for this taco that this Michelin star chef created. Yes, you could do that. Or you could go down to Las Trancas and you can pay
there you go.
$3.50 and get a delicious taco.
Exactly.
And so do you feel like every city kind of has their own take on the taco? What makes Austin's take on this unique?
Yeah, for sure. I mentioned before, Austin is a young city.
Yeah.
Compared to other cities, across Texas too, right? And so what that means is that even with the taqueros and taqueras, we're seeing kind of a new, over the last 10 years, really, we've seen Chicanos, maybe second, third, fourth generation, take up the mantle, right? Of what their parents did, or maybe what they taught them, or whether it's cultural, or maybe their parents didn't, make the food, but now they're really into it, and so they go study it. And so I would say, that's how and why Austin stands out, because of that. And if you're going to bring a taco game, say, to Austin, or even any food in Austin, you got to be super competitive, right? You got to be like tops, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, shout out to Houston. I love the Houston taco scene is amazing.
Yeah.
Also, the Houston food scene is amazing because of the people that are there, because of the variety and the diversity, right?
Yeah.
And so bringing it back to Austin is like, like the folks are, these taqueros and taqueras, they're hungry. They're like, hey, I want to make things that are true to me, but also compete in a landscape that, like, you got to really stand out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what makes it unique. I would definitely say that every region has a certain style. And that's kind of what we discovered in our second book, Tacos of Texas, to really kind of like, what is that? When you go to a certain region, what is that taco you're going to get? And for Austin, for a long time, probably, it was the breakfast taco. It was the migas itself, right?
Yeah.
And the migas, and so I feel like migas has always been like, this idea around like taking something that maybe it's on its way out, but reinventing it. And so right. So tostadas, old chips.
Yeah.
You cook them with the eggs. So that's kind of like this idea around what I feel Austin is. And you have more traditional towns like, say, San Antonio or Brownsville. That's definitely known for like the barbacoa, or even like the street tacos as well, from Matamoros. And in San Antonio, they beat, like I said before, they beat us by 100 years. So you're going to have tacos literally on every corner. But in Austin, you don't have that, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay, So
it's like we're young, we're youthful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But also, you just got to give, I think that's what these taqueros are doing, and taqueras, they're giving props to what's been there before. Right.
Yeah.
But we still do have like old school places like Joe's Bakery and Mi Madres, or just La Cocina de Consuelo.
1 in a Million. They just celebrated 45 years too.
All those places are still kind of standing strong of the few, right? Matt's Rancho and all those still standing strong. But there's been a lot of adversity that they've had to gone through. And now this generation, maybe they have it, what I would say is easier, less barriers to set up. Because back in the 90s, they were trying to shut down taco trucks on Riverside. That's one of our episodes on, it's called Austin Taco History. We talked to the guy behind the ATX Barrio Archive, and we go into the history of like, what are the early restaurants that Austin had, and what happened, how were people displaced, and then what businesses popped up, right?
Yeah.
And then to kind of today, right? And so we kind of dig into that. For Austin, it's kind of like the young factor, the being a university town to a tech town, but it's also like the people that make it, right? So the brown and the black people that are making this Austin and sticking to the culture. Because you could say like, oh, Austin isn't what it used to be. And yeah, sure, things change, but at the same time, the people, what I would say, the taqueros, the Mexicans, the Latinos that are here, or even you just when we think about Black and brown communities, they're making things out of nothing, and all of a sudden it's become, these cultural hubs in different parts of Austin, right? And people want that. People want that, and they're hungry for it. And so I think that's definitely, that adds to the mix, right? That adds to the mix. The creators, the artists, the Frida Fridays, the Black Makers Markets, all of that is also Austin. And that's why I really focus on telling these stories, because, like New York, the New York Times may come into town, or these publications, and they're like, oh, what's the hot and trendy? But they miss all these
mainstays.
Right? Yeah. And so for me, it's about telling these stories, but like allowing people to tell the stories in their own ways, right?
Yeah.
And whatever that looks like, and whatever that feels like, I'm just here to help provide that platform for them.
So this is actually bringing me to my next question, because you bring up a really good point. I think that the thing that I struggle with the most in this city that I love is just people moving in, sometimes wanting to emulate that hottest, trendiest thing, and not doing any of the work to find out the history, not doing any of the work to find out how that place got there and what was there before that place, right? I'm naturally nosy. So I'm like, well, this looks like, what used to be here? This is clearly new. I'm nosy in that way.
I would say you're curious.
Curious, yes. I'm super curious. Anywhere I go, I'm just like, oh. But I think when you come into a community, when you come into a city, the onus is on you to find and educate yourself about that history, right?
Yep.
And, we're at this point in Austin now where there's just so many taco places. There's so many tacos. There's so many places that, are reinventing the taco and doing the thing. It's hard to try to get them all. So what is your best advice for just like taco curious Austinites that maybe want to go further than the hottest thing that they've seen on Instagram, and they want to go to a taqueria? I'll give a quick anecdote. I was with a friend of mine, and I had heard from a friend of a friend's mom, oh, you got to go to this place. It's like La Canaria or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then Councilmember Vela came on and he brought it up. He brought up the exact same one. I was like, okay, that's it. We have to.
Yeah,
I got to go. I feel like this is a sign. My friend was like, oh, Nikki, my Spanish is just not where it needs to be. I was like, it doesn't. We're gonna go get these tacos. We're gonna work it. We're gonna get these.
I think you can pass by with restaurant Spanish.
Listen, and so I think that sometimes it's little weird things like that where people are like, oh, I don't know, when you should just roll up. And
roll up.
And then
they want your business.
Yeah, I had one of the best tacos I've ever had in my life, and I was mad because I hadn't gotten there until that day, right? And so what kind of advice do you have for people that are maybe a little tentative about trying out things on the outskirts or trying out things outside of their comfort zone?
Yeah. Well, I would say there's always two things that I think about. So for me, it's about bringing your curiosity and your courage, right?
Yeah.
And so even if you're trying a new place, they would love to have you, right? They would love to have you try, what they're cooking. That's what they're there for, right? And don't let language be a barrier. You can easily pronounce. If you can say taco, you can probably order.
Yeah. Okay, listen. Can you point?
Yeah.
Can you nod at something, like anything? Yeah, you can communicate.
Yeah, what I would also say is I just, come with that curiosity, but also come with respect, right? Yeah. So it's about like coming in and understanding and figuring out, the location or the history of what it is and digging deeper, just because a place opens. Say, next week there's a new place popping up, which is in Austin. That's not unusual. You don't have to run to go find out and give it a review. It's their first day. Give them a break. I usually don't go to a place till at least it's been 6 months. Because they're still trying to figure out their thing, Yeah, like I don't need to be there, and try to get like, my 60-second like take on,
I don't need to be
whatever it is.
first.
Because it's also like, sometimes some taco trucks, they come and go, and that's okay. You don't know those reasons. But you just got to be there and support them when you can. And so what I would say is just like, like go outside of the illustrious lists that are out there, that they get kind of regurgitated from one media spot to another.
That's so true.
And so it's just like, okay, great. They're there and they're going to get the love, which is great. Now go find another place. Be curious, and, go to the flea market, go to the, 183 South. And there's a lot of little different stands that are just popping up that, out there, they're trying to make a living. Right. Yeah. And if you come through with, with some empathy and compassion, that learning and ordering and trying something new, Yeah. I know once we like what we like, that's our safe zone, right?
That's true. So yeah.
You got to practice to like, hey, you know what? Let me try branch out. Let me try something new, and definitely, use those lists to kind of guide you. We have a taco map on Google. You can just kind of Google it. We have like the Austin Taco Mile map as well. I love it. So there's so many places, that you can try. Because, like it kind of gets recycled. The places kind of get recycled over and over. Then they become known as like, oh, those are the only places in Austin, which they're not. Then you miss out on Los Pepes. Yeah. You miss out on the free chips and salsa and beans.
I feel like, I think that especially the way the world is now, especially the way things are shaking out for not just our undocumented people, but just like all of us. Like, I think as good Austinites, as good neighbors, the least we can do is totally make sure that we, go to businesses that we maybe haven't gone to before, support them, figure out where these mom and pop places are so that you can support here's the other thing. I think that like I used to be this person, so I'm going to acknowledge that. I used to assume that every single Mexican food, mom and pop Mexican food restaurant meant that everybody was from Mexico.
No, not at all.
That is not at all true. And so that's the other thing that I want to just you will be so surprised at the type of food that you get from different places all over the world at these. Like, it's a different take on things that you think that you've tasted, and it's completely different. And that's what else I love about Austin. It's like I can get a Nepalese version of a taco. I can get I can get a Nicaraguan taco. I can get all these places. You just gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah. And then, like one of my favorite places to go to are those strip malls that have so many businesses and it's in different languages.
Yes.
And so you can get a taco, but you can also go to the Indian buffet place or the Thai place next door. And so it's you get kind of that medley, and it's a beautiful thing. But also like, we are in different times today in 2025, communities are hurting. And so you got to stand up for communities, not only through your dollar and support them, but as well as for your advocacy. If they've been there for you, like advocate and for just human rights, for empathy. It hurts to see, restaurant workers being scared to go to work because of the ICE raids,
Let's talk about it. I mean, seriously though, I can't imagine that this is not affecting our mom and pop taquerias.
It's 100% affecting them. And so us that have, like, say, the privilege to stand up for them, we should. We should. And it's not just by the, by the bare minimum is your dollar, but it's also like your advocacy. Are you using your platform to support all these immigrant communities that have been there for you, all this time?
I mean, like, steadily. We're talking about the fabric of our city. We're talking about the fabric of our state. We're talking about we do not exist without, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
We don't exist without this community. And so it's the least that we can do is to be an advocate, a shield, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and if you come to, my account, on United Tacos of America, in Tacos of Texas, you're going to see that we stand up for people's rights and help understand that.
Yeah.
And the main thing for us, it's like you can't separate the food from the culture. It's one and the same. It's one and the same. So let's support each other in that way.
I agree. All of it is a little bit much for me. So I worry about people not being able to go to work, not being able to make money, not being able to feed their families because they're afraid of what's happening. I don't even want to get started, but
well, thank you for saying that too.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But having said that, what I do want to acknowledge and what I do want to say is that because of podcasts like yours, because you're using your platform to have these stories, I think that that is what is going to keep us connected. That's what's going to keep us connected to the culture. That's what's going to keep us connected to the stories and to the people and shine light on places so that we can go and support and advocate. So once again, I know it's your 5th season start off, but I do want to just be like, I got to put you one more time because it really is a good podcast. It's really good.
Yeah, it's just real conversations, no fluff. What we say is all thriller, no filler.
Okay, so now my last question is, what do you want Austinites to know about taco culture in Austin?
Yeah.
What's your last gift that you're going to give us?
This year I did a class with Jesse Griffiths over at Daidue. And we did a whole hog butchering class.
What?
And so I know, right? So you're going to get into that, but you're also we check in with folks, speaking of, the immigration crackdowns and the ICE raids, we check in with, taqueros to see how they're doing. But as well as we talk about women in barbecue, and we go to, we interview Chuck from Barb's BQ out in Lockhart.
Oh my God, I have to get there. I still haven't been.
So good.
Oh my God.
Good. Yeah, so I would say that, tune in, listen, but definitely support, shout out your favorite taquerias that are doing good. And, and if you're the first time coming in, dig into that history. You're going to learn a lot. There's a lot of stories, there that can help you. And you can have both. You can have whatever high dollar taco plate you want, as well as a $2 taco.
You can have both.
You can have both. And
that's why Austin's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Mondo, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I've been looking forward to this for a while. Thank you for talking to me. It has been a pleasure. I really appreciate the time because I know you're busy.
No, it's all good, Nikki. You're an amazing person, and being obviously an Austin OG, standing up for the culture, and let's rock and roll.
Man, now I have to get to Los Pepes now.
Yeah, there you go. Boom.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find links to Mondo's work and the Taco of Texas podcast in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. And if you really love CityCast Austin, help support us by becoming a neighbor. Go to membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.